Okay. All right, chaburah. Good night of Shabbos. Good night of Shabbos. It's true. Yeah. No, not that kind of change. Other change is good. Chaburah, good night of Shabbos. What it's supposed to is, first of all, chaburah, I appreciate everybody accommodating the time change. I figure so as not to conflict a little bit with Mincha Mariv. A tremendous hashkach to Reb Tzvi, who week after week continues to amaze us with culinary delights. Also, those of you who come to Smichas Chaver, this is a little bit of a good chazara, because the shaila of what you did when you ate your pickle tonight. Davar shatibula b'mashke, right? Yeah, that's just a little chazara. Everything collides in a beautiful Yerushalmi. You should take a look. You take a picture of that Yerushalmi status, of that Yerushalmi gogo. It should become your WhatsApp status. I'm just saying, look how beautiful. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The kavod Yom Yerushalayim, the kavod Eretz Yisrael. So tremendous hashkach to Reb Tzvi for really each and every week, just making it so beautiful. Steve, who is our sponsor tonight? Seth from Allentown Phillips. Good. Is that the right order?
What's your name? Seth from Allentown.
Okay. Seth Phillips from Allentown, who's a new member of the shul. Actually, Baruch Hashem just joined the shul today, so it's great. Baruch Hashem. I think they're moving here shortly. In 2 weeks, okay. We thank Reb Seth for the beautiful mashke tonight, and of course, a tremendous hashkach to Reb Steve, who really works so hard every single week to make sure that all of the logistics of the shir are together. Baruch Hashem. Chaburah, it's very special to be able to sit here and learn the words of the Piagetna together, and Aruch Hashem. It's also beautiful to see everybody on their third dinner tonight. So it's also Aruch Hashem. Mika Amcha Yisrael. It's incredible, right? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, Chaburah, let's begin. So tonight we are continuing Emeretz Hashem in the beautiful piece regarding the Piagetz and music. So tonight we're going to Emeretz Hashem conclude it. We are picking up on page 43. Page 43, right in the second paragraph, the second full paragraph on the page, V'yesh Lefamim. It's the second V'yesh Lefamim. There's two of them there. So remember again, just reorient ourselves a little bit. Remember again that the Piaget was talking about the power of music, and specifically talking about the idea that music has the ability to really open up the neshama, to allow the neshama to converse with that Kodesh Baruch. Remember again the imagery that every once in a while, not every once in a while, it feels like every single week, the Piaget provides some beautiful imagery that just like sticks with you, right? So of course we have our beautiful Shalashudis imagery, which we recall every single week. And then last week, if you remember again, the Piaget said that if you want music to impact you, what should you do? Remember again, he said, Hasev panecha al akir, turn to a wall. Or literally again, just be alone with yourself and just choose any particular niggin, right? Go ahead, imagine yourself as if you're standing before the Kisei HaKavod, the throne of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and just begin to sing. And when you begin to sing, you're going to awaken your neshama. And after enough time of awakening your neshama, what ends up happening? Your neshama awakens you. After enough time of you awakening your neshama ultimately awakens you. That's the power of music, power of shira, the ability to go ahead and awaken the soul. So we'll say with that same thing, let's continue. It says V'yesh Lefamim, page 43, middle of the page. V'yesh Lefamim. We'll say this is incredible. Still continuing on the power of music. Shelo yisoreru b'cha b'diburim v'lo sargish shum bakasha. See, I will say, we are very used to, when we speak about dialogue with Hashem, so we are very used to understanding dialogue in the context of supplication or petition. In other words, why do I dialogue with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or when do I dialogue with Hashem? When I need something. But now the Piaget says, sometimes, look at his words over here, V'yesh Lefamim, there are sometimes, sometimes you're going to feel connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but you don't have words. I don't have something I have to say. There's nothing I'm asking for. Right? So there's nothing particularly I want to say, and there's nothing particularly I need. Let's say, right? Imagine a moment, we've all had moments like that, where I want to feel close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, or I do feel close to Hashem. I don't have anything to say. I don't have anything that I need in this particular moment. Umikol makom, targish eze hargasha. She efshar lecha litzayer ma'at hamagish. I have to tell you, this is the first time in my life the Piaget gives words to an emotional experience that hopefully we all experience at different times in life. These moments where I feel close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, right? I feel a hargasha. I feel a closeness. I feel a sense of connection, but I don't need anything right now. I don't have any words right now, and I can't even explain the connection, or not the connection, the feeling that I'm experiencing. I can't explain it. He says, min hisrafkusi. We'll say hisrafkus is like a lashon of closeness. It's just the type of closeness. Look what he gives over here. Kieled, listen to this. Kieled shemachat lifnei aviv. So you know what it's like? It's like a child. I don't know what the right word is. So you have enough ice. This is enough. There's enough. It's more than enough. More than enough. You want like a beer mug or something to drink? Come on.
Any more cans?
Yeah, any more cans? Yeah. Please. You want a bottle of champagne or something? Do you want Wait,
after he made the entire spread.
I know. Poor guy. He's like, you know what?
We are so thankful.
He's like, I'm going to open whatever I want. I'm going to rustle my hands around in the ice.
Take my ball and go home.
So listen to this mashal that he's saying. He's saying sometimes kiyeled shemechat lifnei aviv. I would say, I don't know the good English translation for this word, mischate, but I would almost use the word like snuggle up. It's like a little child who snuggles up against his father. What does that mean? He says, Eina rotze me'uma me'aviv. He doesn't want anything from his father. I had this today. I had my daughter had to run out to go to the supermarket. So Baruch Hashem, she has a baby, a little baby, my little grandson. So she said, could I watch him? So of course I said, except I got the message like an hour later. So I ran home. My wife was watching this. So I took the baby just for a moment. I just sat down. It was incredible. So what did he do? So he was just falling asleep, and they put him. I was just holding him, and it was fascinating. So what he did is I was leaning at an angle, and he just kept inching up. He wanted to get right here. He wanted just to it's almost like there's a natural like a baby just naturally snuggling up. So sometimes a child goes to a parent, and the child wants to just be close to the parent. The child doesn't want anything. I'm not asking for anything, but listen to this. Sometimes the child just goes ahead, and this is obviously about a little bit of an older child. He runs to his father. He snuggles up with his father, and he says, Abba, Abba, my father, my father. And the father says, Ha'av Shoel, Ma'atarotza b'ni, my son, what do you want? And what does the child say? Klum humoshivo. Either the child says nothing, or the child doesn't answer at all. V'shuv hona u'misaneach, avi, avi. But then the child again says, Daddy, Daddy, Abba, Abba, Father, Father. So do you hear what the Piaget is describing over here? It's such a profound moment. Either if you remember it as a child doing it to your father, or if you remember your own children doing it to you. This idea that sometimes a child runs over to a parent, just runs into the embrace of the parent, calls out the name Abba, Abba, and of course as adults we're conditioned to think, yeah, you're calling my name, what do you want? And the child doesn't want anything. The child does want something, but the child can't even articulate what it is that he wants. What does he want?
It's not something tangible.
He just wants to be close. He just wants to be helped. He just wants to be close. He just wants to nestle into his father and just be. And just be. And he keeps on saying, Abba, Abba. And the father keeps on saying, what? Right? What? Tell me, what do you want? And the son just doesn't answer. This Abba, because the father doesn't understand. Right? The father takes the request for Abba, Abba as something you physically need. And the son is meanwhile saying, Abba, you don't say, I have what I need. What I need is just to be here with you. That's all I need. I don't need anything more. He says, Kidalacha, shebe'inyan darchei eskalos hanefesh, yesh harbe pamim lilma min hayelad. The Piaget says, I was saying, when it comes to understanding our neshamas, there's a lot you could understand. There's a lot you could learn from children. He says, Kol ma'asav eina bekavana. Children, also is incredible. Children, literally translated, means their actions are without intent. Now, what does that mean? Well, so I think the better way to say it is, children's actions are often not premeditated. They're just spontaneous. So we'll say, here's what's interesting. Listen to what I think the Piaget is trying to say. Premeditated action comes from where? The seichel, the mind. Spontaneous action comes from the neshama. Children are all neshama. Children are all neshama. That's why often, again, with children, for good and for bad, their whole lives is spontaneity, right? I feel like doing this. I feel like running across the street. Like, not all spontaneity is good, right? Spontaneity, this goes back, I think this was Nehemiah's point last week, after the Bud Light statement. Right, so I'll say, I'm not letting go of that. I'll let it go anytime soon. So someone has to be the karba. No, that was pretty egregious. So
Put more ice in.
Yeah. So obviously, and also when the Nechemia brought up last week is obviously, to be clear, you can never have neshama without intellect, right? Because then that could be a train wreck. The problem is too often in life, it's seichel, it's intellect without neshama. So what he's saying is, so what's happening over here? The child runs over to the parent, right? And the child just like snuggles in, nestles into the parent. What's driving that? Is the child thinking is it a premeditated action? It's been a while since I've been physically affectionate or demonstrative of my love to my parents. I don't want them to feel neglected or unloved or underappreciated. I really should go and fit in a hug. No, rather, what happens? You ask the kid, what do you think? He's like, I don't know, right? And he's not thinking. He's not thinking. He's just acting. He's just acting because what his neshama understands is that's my father, and all I want is just to be close. So the father, of course, the adult who does think with the mach, who does think with the mind, hears his son say Abba, Abba. So premeditated, intellectual father says, what do you want? And meanwhile, the baby, the child, doesn't understand what the father. What are you asking? What do you mean? I have what I want. I just want to be close to you. I don't want anything else. I'm not here because of my moach. I'm here because my neshama brought me to you, my father. And the Piagetz says, by the way, I just want to point out even before we go on. This is what David HaMelech meant when he said in Tehillim. I quoted this. Somebody asked me. Everybody asked me for this pasuk. David HaMelech says, "Va'ani kirvas Elokim litov." For me, we actually quoted in Gemara Sota not so long ago. Va'ani, for me, closeness to Hashem is good. Let's say, what is David HaMelech describing when he says kirvas Elokim litov? What is he describing? He's describing this. Ribono shel olam. Do you know what the best moments in life are? The best moments. It's not when I'm crying to you because I need something, and it's not when I'm running to you because I'm desperate. Those aren't the best moments. The best moments are just when I'm with you. But and what happens? And HaKadosh Baruch Hu is there, Kiviyach, and he's saying, okay, what do you want? What do you want? And I'm saying, nothing. What I want is this. What I want is this. I just want to be close. For a couple of minutes in life, I just want to be a child. And I just want to have that moment of just emotional spontaneity and connection without anything premeditated. I don't need anything. I'm not lacking anything. I just want to be close to you.
Go back to what the Rose said a few minutes ago about, I'm paraphrasing, about the neshama of a child being, I guess, immature. Is the neshama mature, or is the neshama where it needs to be? The mind is immature, and therefore
that's a better way to. It's a better way to say it. It's just there's an underdeveloped intellect. Mm-hmm. So when there's an underdeveloped intellect, essentially
the neshama comes in whole.
Correct.
It should be.
The neshama is the neshama is in the driver's seat. Now again, to be clear,
it's limited.
Correct.
Especially at that stage.
Correct. And again, there could definitely be a sense of danger in all of this. That's for sure as well. So we'll say, let's go weiter. He goes on. He says. A child's actions, right, are not with premeditated intent. They're not premeditated intent. So here it is. For a child, the neshama just comes out. Are we out of safe? You know, so cute. Is that an extra safer over there? We have, if anybody wants. There's plenty of svarim. It's also down here if anyone needs. It's next to the Bud Light. No, not you. That was not you. That was not you. No, that was not you. That was... Let's go, mate. Okay, that was it. That was last one. Right. That was it. Let's go. Right. He says as follows. He says, Rak me'as, what is incredible. The actions of a child aren't premeditated. They're not driven by the intellect. Rak me'atzmo nafsha misgalabo. So listen to these words. By a child, the neshama just comes out on its own. Ba'ofanim shonim va'osim tenuos u'ma'asim kafi tenuos nafsho. Is really what Reb Steve was just saying before. I was saying, it's so interesting. Do you know what a child is? A child is a human being with a fully formed neshama and an underdeveloped intellect. So what happens when the neshama is fully formed and the intellect is underdeveloped? Interestingly enough, the neshama is in the driver's seat. That's it. That's why a child, I would say, do you ever wonder what it is, right? It's right. People go crazy over babies and little children, right? You ever see this? Like, grown adults will start making faces, start making noises, right? And they'll start cooing, they'll start this. What's the pshat? Let's say, because deep down, what we're drawn to is a being that is kulo neshama. When I see that baby, even before the baby could do anything, what I know I'm looking at is like, I need to be like that. Because that's a person, so to speak, that's a person whose neshama is in the driver's seat of life. Their intellect is not right. Their neshama is driving everything. The neshama is driving everything. Piaget says we have to strive to be more like that. He goes on. I'm sorry, let's cover a little bit of ground. He says, a child acts, again, his actions are totally driven by his neshama. We'll say that's why when he snuggles up against his father, like we said, there's nothing premeditated that's occurring over here, right? There's no forethought as to what's happening. What's occurring on an emotional nefesh level, neshama level, the child is just connecting with his father. He just wants to be close to his father. V'gam ato. So we'll say, look what the now linking it back. Piaget says, v'gam ato lefamim targish binigunecha min hamin vechitui. So we'll say, music sometimes has the ability to allow us to experience the same thing. And we'll say, again, like we said in last week's share, what the Piaget is describing that music does, we'll agree, it doesn't do it for everyone. Right? And a person shouldn't feel like, oh my gosh, music doesn't do this for me, what's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. Again, there are harbe drachim yesh lamakom. There are many pathways to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Here the Piaget happens to be describing the power of music. So remember, again, let's go back to the beginning of the paragraph. Yeah?
Why is it that, it's more of a psychological question, but why is it that sometimes when we hear music, whether without words or with words, you hear a song and music, it triggers something of memory? It could be good, bad, or otherwise. Is it triggering a shamik
right?
Or is it what
music? I don't know, doctors. What's we have all the psychologists over here. I don't know.
It triggers a bad memory?
No, Adam David is saying is that music is often triggers memory. In other words, good, bad, whatever it is.
Out everything else. You're focusing only on one. You can't think about something else while you're thinking about music. It's not possible.
It's all encompassing.
Yeah, so it just brings you down to yourself, to the one thing that's there. And sometimes that triggers
a whole bunch of thoughts.
Right.
Yeah.
I can study with music in the background.
In fact, we're not focusing on the music then.
What is?
I think maybe the music came out at a certain...
Connected to memory.
I'm sorry, say that again.
A lot of the senses are neurologically connected
To memory.
It's like
Interesting.
It doesn't have to be trauma. It could be
Right, and it could be anything. Right. I don't know. That's fascinating.
Smell.
Right. Smell. Right.
Smells also.
Senses.
Like that woman in the burnt...
Right, the Sigmund Freud story, right, with the burnt bread, right, true. All right, Chavez, let's finish up. So the Piaget says this house. Tonight we're finishing music. So the Piaget says, we're almost done. Listen what he says. Let's go back first. Remember, how did this paragraph start? The Piaget says that sometimes the power of music is that it allows you a connective experience that is not rooted in need or supplication. I will say, so many times, the nature of our relationship with Hashem is, I'm drawn to HaKadosh Baruch Hu because there's a need. Now, I want to point out, that's by design. Right? The Chafetz Chaim comments, we say, Borei nefashos rabos v'chasronam. Right? To make a bracha on borei nefashos, what do we say? Hashem creates many nefashos, many souls, and their deficiencies. Ask the Chafetz Chaim, what kind of praise is that for HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Right? Imagine you're by someone's house for dinner, right? Thanks, right? The food was delicious, but try a little bit more salt in the soup next time, right? Some people do that. They're usually in my office, right? The next week, right? Right? But that's not how you give compliments. In other words, right? You go ahead and you give What do you mean? God, you're so great. You create so many souls and their deficiencies. The Chavetz Chaim says is that's by design. The deficiency is not like right, perfectly imperfect. Hakadosh Baruch Hu created an imperfect world perfectly. It's the lashon of the Maharal, right? In other words, the deficiencies are by design. Why are they by design? Because the Ribono Shel Olam needed a hook to keep us connected. If man was fully self-sufficient, I don't need God. So there's no relationship. So he creates each of us with our deficiency, with that which we lack.
Who did feel fully self-sufficient, so to speak, who still needed God. People are the Avos.
You always need God, but the Avos themselves never felt fully self-sufficient. No, whoever felt self-sufficient in this world. Person who said, I have, again, Yaakov Avinu said, Yesh li kol, in a material sense, right, but not in a spiritual sense, not in a familial sense. So by definition, that lacking is there, that lacking is there by, you go back, I'm good. That lacking is there by design. It's by design to create relationship. So I will say, so I want to point out, what the Piaget is describing, however, over here is that the ability to connect, not because I need something, but just the ability to connect for the sake of connection. And he says that could often be accomplished through the mechanism of shira. Sometimes the power of music is that music creates a connective experience like the son snuggling up against his father. And just saying, Abba, Abba. Music could transport you into the loving embrace of your father. And when you're there, what do you need? I'm going to say Abba, Abba, and my Abba's going to say, what do you need? And what am I going to answer? Nothing. I have it. You're holding me. I'm with you. That's all I need. Says the Piaget, and he says, Rak nafshecha meranenes umishtapachas umifaletes, right? Ribono shel olam, rak ribono shel shalom. Rather, we'll say what music could do is create this connective experience where ultimately, again, my soul is singing, my soul is gushing forth, and all I keep repeating is Ribono shel olam, Ribono shel olam. Abba, Abba, Tata, Tata. That's all. And that, says the Piaget, is the power of music. Music is not necessarily the mechanism that's used in moments of supplication. Right? The power of music is not necessarily that it creates the platform for me to ask for things from God. The truth is, there is a platform to ask for things. What's the platform to ask for things? Tefillah. That's davening. The whole davening experience is really structured around that. All of my deficiencies. The power of music is that I become the child just snuggling up against my father, where I'm not here for something. I'm not here because my intellect drove me here. I'm just here because I want to connect, because I want to be close. V'lav dafka. Nebose here is great. So v'lav dafka benigun shel shviras leiv. Piaget writes, don't think we're only talking about sad songs. Now, this is a little bit, to me, I'm like a sad song guy, right? Much to the what's the word? Chagrin, right? Of many others. Okay, right, yeah, everyone, right? So he says, just understand, he's like, because based on what he's describing, you might think to yourself, well, you know what, like, okay, I hear this. You know when this occurs? When does this occur? With a good hartzig niggin. A good, like, slow, sad, like, emotionally volcanic song that, like, awakens in me every single little bit of emotion. And then it's in that moment where, like, I'm sobbing like a baby in the arms of my father. You can't even ask me what I want because I can't even get out a word. Right? Peter says, no. It's not just by sad songs. He says, Rak gam benigun shel simcha. No, this is true even with a beautiful Leibedig niggin. Bekulam. Tuchal ishtamish begilui hanefesh v'kach dark, right? V'kach dark shel chassid. But the power of music is not only with sad music, right? The power of music is not only with the slow niggin, but the power of music is with anything, right? Even the fast, happy niggin. Bose, listen to this lashon. He says, v'kach darko shel chassid. Bose, this is the best line. Page 44. How does the Chassidus listen to this? I'll say, Hu bocha lepam and benigon sameach. Bose, how do you know if you're a good chassid? Here's how you know if you're a good chassid. Number one, you cry. Even during fast songs, v'gam b'shas rikidasa. Sometimes you even cry while you're dancing. Olapamim, roked gam b'nigun shel kol nidre. And sometimes you even want to get up and dance during kol nidre. That's a chassid. A chassid knows how to dance during the slowest niggin, and how to go ahead and cry during dancing, and during Kol Nidre, knows how to get up, knows how to cry, but also knows how to get up and dance. That's a chassid. And here it is. You know what a chassid really is? A chassid is someone who knows how to be in touch with his emotions. Definition of a chassid is not someone who follows a particular rebbe, right? Because the truth is, no one should follow one rebbe, because the truth is, in life, you need many rebbes. You need many rebbes, many different rebbes. And Baruch Hashem, right? Like, again, today, amazing enough, no one says they're chassid of the Baal Shem Tov. I don't know, there should be some chassidim of the Baal Shem Tov, right? Chassidim of Magid and Mezrich. Let's say, because the whole derech of the Baal Shem Tov doesn't have to be a rebbe, because no one rebbe could give you every single thing that you need, right? The beautiful part is, right? Just like we don't have one av and one aim, right? We have 3 avos, we have 4 imos, because different people convey to you different. But what it means to be a chassid on the core level is the ability to tap in to the realm of emotion. That's what it means to be a chassid. Can you cry while you're dancing and dance while you're crying? That's what it means to be a chassid. Now we'll say, let's finish off this section. Lachein, kishetiyeh bechevras chasidim. We'll say, this is great. So therefore, when you're in a group of chassidim, we're just going to finish this paragraph, then we'll stop for tonight. Therefore, lachein, kishetiyeh bechevras chasidim. Listen to this. When you're with a group of chassidim, so we'll say, here, what is this? This is a chevras chassidim, right? We're all a group of chassidim, right? We're all ultimately trying to be a chas. We're all trying to come in contact with our emotion. We're trying to become Bnai Machshava Tova. That's our goal. So listen to this. So whenever you're sitting with a group of people, and the people are singing, whether they are singing by davening, or whether they're singing by the Suda, or ba'ofen acher, tiranin gam ata imahem. Always sing with the group. Always sing with the group. He says, Lo rak lashmiya kol bechinas nasanalai bekola. So I'll say, don't be one of those guys who has to be the loudest voice in the group. Don't be that guy. No one likes that guy, right? And he usually has the worst voice, right? Don't be that guy. You know, the goal is not to be the loudest, right? Rak kedei lahotzi es nafshecha. I'll say, the goal is, if you're with a chevra, hilagi chevra, and they're davening and singing, or they're sitting and farbringing and singing, you got to get in on that. You have to get in on that. Because what's unfolding over there is the opportunity to allow your soul to come out of its shell, to nestle up next to your Father, to allow the neshama to come into the driver's seat, to put the intellect on the side just for a little while, and allow yourself to become a fully emotional being. Min nigun hachupa shemezaveg es hachasan va'akala. I will say, this is such an incredible statement. The Piaget says, you know what it's like? It's like the niggin, like the song of the chuppah, that brings together a chasan and kala, v'dai lahavin. Right? And Piaget says, enough said. I will say, every couple has that song. That somehow reminds them of their connection with one another. Maybe it triggers a memory, right? But it has that song that reminds them of their connection with one another. The Piaget says, I need my song with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So when you're with the chevra that's singing, participate. V'lav dafka, he says, v'lav rosei. So I just want to point out, by the way, this is very important. Because rosei, a lot of times it happens that we're with the chevra, and the chevra is singing. And what am I doing when the chevra is singing? What am I doing? I'm schmoozing. Right, I'm having a conversation. I will say, the truth is, I'll tell you a little secret. In general, you know, some people get very upset when people are talking during davening, or people are talking during shiurim, or things like that. It never really upsets me. Ice upsets me, but talking doesn't. I will say, because the truth is, there's something beautiful, something so beautiful about Jews getting along with each other in a chevra shaft. But I will say, that being said, if the chevra is singing, or the chevra is dancing, right? I will say, again, it's important. Shabbos night, Friday night, right? We're dancing by Kabbalah Shabbos. You can't be that guy who sits by his chair. You can't, right? Everybody's walking around, you're avoiding eye contact, right? Pretending like you're davening. You've been on the same page for 17 minutes, right? Either you don't read Hebrew, right? Or whatever, right? So, like, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't be the guy that's not tapping into the experience. The tzibur is dancing. The tzibur is singing. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means when that's happening? Do you know what's unfolding over here? There's an neshamatic experience over here. There's something, but you say, I'm not a dancer. Learn to be a dancer. Because what it means to be a chassid is the ability to tap into the mediums that allow you to fully spiritually self-actualize. And singing is part of that. And the rikud and dancing is part of that. I don't mean you don't have to be the guy who starts the dancing. But lamaisa, if the tzibur is dancing, if the tzibur is singing, you can't sit on that. I'm not saying it's not that. I'm saying you can't sit on the sidelines because you're allowing yourself to miss out on something so beautiful and so special. Just finish the paragraph. He says, "V'lav dafka b'shah she'ata b'charas chasidim b'shah shemnagdim rak gam b'veisecha b'cholis." So I'll say, by the way, this whole power of singing, don't think it's just a group experience. It's not just when you're in shul, or when you're at Shalosh Shudis, or when you're at a Thursday night Piagetz Nashir, right? Again, look what he writes. He said it's even when you're alone in your home. B'cholis shetargish es atzmecha muchshar lazeh. And I'll say, you might be home one day, and you might feel, you know what? I'm ready to sing. I'm ready to sing. So what do you do when you're ready? When you're ready to sing, Piagetz says, just find a private place. Just find a private place. Go outside. Go whatever into a room where no one is. And you know what? Just sing. And even when you're by yourself, you don't have to be the loudest voice. You don't have to be the loudest voice even when you're alone with yourself. Right? Sometimes, again, just if you feel this building up in your neshama, that you need a little bit of shira, that you need a little bit of song, that you know what? I don't need anything right now. But can I tell you, I really want to be held. You know, as adult men, we don't normally, that phrase is not normally in our lexicon. Right. Can you imagine saying to your friends, you know, it's been a tough day, I really need to be held, right? Let me say something, you're going to lose a lot of friends very quickly, right? Very quickly. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's right. Just finished a six-pack and I really need to be held right now. You know, like let's say so it doesn't really. Right. It doesn't really. Okay, we'll say, but you know what? We laugh about it, but chaburah, it's absolutely true. There is not one of us here that doesn't have moments in life where the truth is, all I need is to be held. Now, sometimes the incredible part is, well, you ask me, who do you need to be held by? The truth is, it sounds strange, I don't really want to be held by anyone I know. Right? I know that sounds strange. No, because that's not what I need. It's not what I need, because it was like, sometimes in life, you know, my job is to be strong for everyone else. So the truth is, like, I can't really make myself vulnerable enough to be held by someone else. But you know who I really need to be held by? My father. I just need to be held. I actually don't need anything right now. I'm not like in any kind of existential trouble right now. I don't have any big problems right now. Just sometimes in life, you just want to feel the embrace of your father.
How do you do that?
And the Piagetz says, we want to say the Piagetz says, that's the power of Shira. You could do it with the chevra. You could do it alone in your house. He says, "Ve'ena tot tzarich litzok bekolos." You don't have to start going ahead and screaming out loud. You don't have to sing out loud. Ki yesh misha menagin rak hamir balachash ve'kolo nishma b'marom. Kaizo says sometimes all you need to do is to hum your song, and your song will be blaring in the heavens. So I'll say this is the Piagetz now on the power of music. Power of Shira is that it puts the neshama in the driver's seat of life. The power of Shira is that it's not the medium to ask for things. It's just the medium to be embraced, to be held. And says the Piagetz now, all we need to do is tap into this energy, both in the chevra as well as by ourselves, and it amplifies, increases, enhances, and bolsters our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu in ways we can't even begin to describe. Chaburah, we'll stop over here for tonight.
I could have the song. I could just add something that I was thinking about.
Please. I didn't say it.
Buds for you.
So we talked last week, there was a comment that people were asking about secular music. What the Rav said was talking about if something comes from an impure source. So last Sunday, I was walking. I have a daughter who lives in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And I was walking from where she lives to the yeshiva Credit Suisse University. And when you walk, you pass by a very large imposing church. I have the same exact thought every time I pass by there, which is, I don't feel anything. Why do I say that? The story is there are Moshe Feinstein's who used to come to the church and would cross the street and then cross back to avoid walking by the church. Why? Because he felt the tumah, the impurity coming from the church. So every time I walk by there, I don't feel anything.
Right.
So I guess the lesson that I was thinking about what the Rav said, is just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Beautiful. In other words, maybe our sensitivities are not in tuned enough. Wow. Right. Just because you don't feel the tumah doesn't mean it's not there. Right. By the way, you know what? It's almost as if, you know what it's like? It's like, imagine for a moment the person is standing under the same roof as a mace, but the mace is behind me. Right? I don't see it. So chances are, right? You ask me, how do I feel? Totally fine. Meanwhile, I'm tummy to mas mace, right there. Right? Beautiful.
Rabbi, do you know that there's a professional cutler?
I'm telling you, I think about it every single time I walk by there.
Professional what? Cuddlers?
I saw somewhere.
Don't they call those kind of profession by a different name?
No, because people want that sense of just someone I don't know. That's why I haven't thought about it.
Make myself
vulnerable.
Right.
Right.
Wow. They drink Bud Light.
What's the shortish of this?
Hisrafkus means like, Rafak means to like wrap around.
Is it related to
No, it's parak. Parak means to take apart or to put back together. I think it's Peiresh Kof is the shoresh.
This guy's the attachment master.
Attachment master.
Cuddle King.
The cuddle king.
The Cuddle King. I like it. Have a good night. Good night.
I got to tell
I
business
think it's the Ramchal that says that we're in the anteroom. Didn't he?
It's Mishnah-Navas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why we were created imperfect.
Yeah. To work on 100%. Yeah, Pirkei Avos.
So I enjoyed it. There was a couple of weeks ago in the Parak Torah that you mentioned that find somebody under rubble.